There's always a process in life. The process will always lead you to the procedure. The process that we go through in life is pressurizing. And I was thinking about the word process earlier. I remember my mama used to take a cabbage, put it in the processor, cut that cabbage up. Some of the best food I've ever eaten came out of that processor. It wasn't the cabbage, it was so good. It was the process of the different ingredients that God would put in that processor. That I would become something like slaw. My mom can make the best slaw you've ever eaten. But it went in a time of processing. And you cannot determine the end product at the beginning of the product. You've been disqualified and you've been sold out by even your own selves. Thinking just because you're going through this, thinking that's where you're going to land. You're settled for the process instead of the procedure. You're settled for being processed as a piece of cabbage instead of the end result. Beautiful slaw that make your mouth water. You put it in your mouth. It's the attack, brothers and sisters, that draws the greatness out of you. You will never know how powerful you are, and never know the lion that's inside of you unless it's awakened. It's not awakened by a demon. It's awakened by God Himself. For it's God who wakes up that which is asleep. And He uses a process to wake you. All these trials and these tribulations that we've been through in life is pulling the greatness out of you. It's pulling the wealth out of you. It's pulling everything that's in God out of you. We feel that it's all about someone else. She did it, he did it. You can understand that it's all about you. When you can forget Tommy and Jerry and Billy and Sally and Susan, all the names that's closest to you that you can point a finger at. And when you can start looking within yourself and find out really what's really going on, that God is purging you. He's drawing out of you the greatness that's in you. The trouble that you avoid is what God will use to draw the greatness that's within you. We try to avoid so many things and blame it on so many things. The situations that you're in right now does not and will not define your destiny. It's a process.
Yes, sir.
To get you to the procedure. God has a place for you that your eyes have not seen, nor your ears has heard. Sometimes God will change the circle of your life, the people you associate yourself with, because they're looking at everybody else and they're not seeing the real God doing the real thing. The people that cannot see what time it is and what hour it is, you need to move from into. You move from a beginning into an ending. Because in God's ending, there's a beginning. And if you can't see what God's doing in me and can't see what God's doing in you, then we need to remove ourselves because it's a work on the inside. So I must yoke myself up with people that can see what time it is in God. And see what hour it is and what the Lord is doing now. I cannot continue to hang out with folks, just Bible thumpers and Bible readers, and they're in the past. Well, this Bible has been fulfilled.
Yes, sir.
I have to see what God's doing afresh and anew today in my life. Because it's a process. And the end result is to proceed. The people around you are going to believe when you begin to believe. They will begin to love when you love. They will begin to value you when you value you. When you begin to love you, you will draw others to love. Jesus said, this commandment I give unto you. The first commandment is, love God with everything you have. And this commandment I add unto you, that you love your neighbor as yourself. Jesus was telling those 12 boys, you cannot love others unless you first love yourself. And then he reverted back to the first commandment, but you can't love yourself if you don't love God. It's a process. Love is a hard thing. Love is a hard thing. He loves me. He loves me not. She loves me. She loves me not. I don't have to pick a flower and pull the petals to see that God loves me. Because I understand many years ago when God proved Himself to me. When He came to snatch me out of hell itself and out of death. I don't need a man to tell me that he loves me. I don't need a woman to tell me she loves me. I need God manifested presence to know that He loves me. And then when I realize the love that He has for me, then I can love myself. And then I love others. Why is it so hard for people to love? Because they don't know the love of God. It's so simple. How do you have so many friends that I don't have any? Be friendly. And friends will come. Whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. How do you, Pastor? You go every Sunday and you go different places and people buy you lunches. Well, you don't know how many lunches I bought. It's called sowing and reaping. They will only believe when you believe. You got to understand that you're better than you used to be. You're wiser than you used to be. You're smarter than you used to be. You're brighter than you used to be. Even though you hadn't mastered it all yet, but you are better, brighter, and smarter than you used to be. But the problem is we continue to relapse. We go back to the old thinking that we used to think about our past. They won't accept me. They won't embrace me. They won't love me. Well, you will never get anybody to embrace you until you first embrace yourself. You will never get anybody to love you until you first love yourself. Why ain't this relationship working? Why can't I get people to love me? I watch people love and I watch people give and I just can't seem to get it. Well, have you looked at your life? What are you doing? The problem is, I believe with all my heart, is we're going back in the past. We're digging up bones and seeing what people did to me. And if you want to live in the past, that's fine, but you will never have a future. That's right. You will never ever have a life. All you will ever have is torment. Ever. Look in the Bible and see all the examples that we have. Those guys who walked in the past. The longest journey there ever was in the Bible was not Paul going to Rome to meet Caesar. Jonah getting on the boat. Jesus walked in the streets of Jerusalem for 33 and a half years. You would think the road to Emmaus, it was an hour and a half of them on. The longest journey in the Bible is that prodigal son when he came to himself. When he figured out that I don't belong here, there's a better place for me. Come on. I ask you today, do you belong where you belong? David who lived in a house that was ragged, whose father didn't even know if he was the father of his son. 7 boys hated him. They rejected him. I often wondered why David was out in the shepherd's field while the other boys was in the house. It was because he was rejected. You could go in and read the Psalm of David. You could read the book of Psalms, and you could see how hated he was by his father and his mother and his brother. Samuel came to him in 1 Samuel, I believe it was. In 1 Samuel, Saul came and said, David, you will go to my house. I'm taking you out of the rags. David was a raggedy boy. He had rags on. He lived in a raggedy house. He had raggedy brothers and sisters. I ask you today, how long are you going to continue to live in a raggedy house? When the Father wants to get you out and carry you to a place of riches. How long will you sit and moan and groan with your trials and with your troubles? How long will you stay in the hog pen? And then when the prodigal son came to himself, the first thing he had to do, he had to go all over again, because he was a son, but now he had to revert back as a servant, because he didn't even feel like he was worthy to be a son. And he said, if I could just be a servant in my father's house, I would fare better than living here in a ragged house. And on that journey back to his father, which probably won't far, but it was a journey of a lifetime, because it was a decision that was in the mind. The mind can't carry you where your feet walk. Your feet can carry you places, but your mind can carry you all the way. Or your mind can carry you nowhere. And people are walking aimlessly in the world going nowhere fast. And as life passes us by, another year and another 10 years will be gone. And we'll be sitting where we've always sat. And we watch the harpers as they hung the harps up on the willow tree. The psalmist said, I sat where you sat. And the world is crying out, sing us a song. Sing us a song. They said we can't sing a song because our heart has no melody. It's a sad state of being when the heart has no melody. When the heart has no beat. When the heart has no life. Oh yeah, my heart is pumping, my blood is moving. My eyes see, my ears hear, my mouth is moving, my hands, my feet, all the functions of my body, but I'm a dead man. But my heart is beating. What good is a heartbeat without love? What good is a heartbeat without joy? What good is a heartbeat without peace? You can do more today than you think you can. You can have more than you think you can. The problem is not what they believe about you. The problem is what you believe about you. My dad wasn't there. My mom wasn't there. My father, I never knew him. I had a bad marriage. I had a bad relationship. My children, quit pointing fingers at others. And what are you going to do about it, brother? Are you going to continue to be a servant to the slave of the mind? Or are you going to come to yourself and say, this heartbeat is not for me? Well, I have a house to go to, and I have a father that I can depend on. And whatever my daddy has, I'll have. Well, life is moving. My son told me yesterday he went to the river and shot some carp, shot some fish. He spent the night at the river. He said, Daddy, he says, water is life. He said, the carp that I shot was there the next day, and it was dead, and life brings water. Water brings life, as long as it's moving. He said, but that carp was dead, Daddy. He said, I got up that morning, he says, the turtles was eating the carp. Because even though the carp died in the water, There was life in the
That's
womb.
right. Come on.
And God has to, there's some things in your life that has to die for you to live.
Yes, sir.
Jesus said it plainly, if you don't die, you can't live. That's why Jesus said, I go away. Where I am, there you may be also. But he was teaching death. When he was on Calvary's tree, he said, Mother, Mary, he said, behold thy son, son, behold thy mother. What was he teaching? He was teaching adoption. He was teaching there's going to be a death, there's going to be a life. The Bible says, except the grain of wheat fall and hit the ground, spring up again, it's the only way it can live. You cannot have a forest of trees without the death of a cone. You have one tree, you see a tree or you see a forest. And see, here's what's going to happen in closing. You're going to either end up being a lonely tree on your journey of life, or you're going to be a forest.
That's right.
Trees all around you.
Come on.
It's your choice.
Yes, sir.
Choose you this day what you want to see. I choose the forest. I don't like being lonely. I like big oaks around me. I like big cedars around me. I like little shrubs around me. Come on, somebody. Every once in a while, I like a holly. Because you got to have those prickly things, those thorny things, to keep you on the path.
Yes, sir.
Paul said, I asked you, Lord, 3 times to remove this thorn from my side. And the church has taught and taught and taught that the thorn was never removed. But I beg to differ, because see, Paul didn't know who he was. He was battling not in his eyes what the church teach, because he said in one place, he said, you would have given your eyes if you could for me. That's just a figure of statement, just like I'd give you my hands if you needed them. He was not blind, because if he was blind, he couldn't talk about healing. He was not screwed over and bent over it, like some says, figure 8 or figure 6 or whatever. No, the thorn that was in his side was his past. And he could not get over his past. And he said, Lord, I can't get over Saul, even though my name is Paul. Ain't it amazing that God called him Saul and Paul? I want to say something to you. You're one letter away.
Come on.
You are one letter away from the miracle. Just what you think is so far, but you're just one. Vanna, can you give me a Vanna? Come on, somebody. You are one letter away. It's not as hard as you think it is. But you have made it hard because you believe everybody around you, and they brought up you being Saul instead of you being Paul. And then Paul would say, now I can put these things behind me, pressing towards the mark of the high calling. All those things that are behind me, Paul said, now I can count them. Come on, somebody. When you can get rid of your past, you will have a future that your eyes have not seen, nor your ears has heard what God has for you. You can do more. Stop blaming people for the years that you have wasted in your life. You don't get but one life. How many more years will you sit where you've always sat? How many more years are you going to be angry, mad? How many more years will you have animosity in your heart towards your husband, towards your wife? How many more years? Will you lay in the same bed, not even knowing who you lay in? How many more years are you going to have animosity and anger toward your children because they've done you wrong? How many more years are you going to spend stolen on what your daddy did do or what he didn't do? Or are you going to live a life that your eyes have not seen, nor your ears have seen? I believe today that the Lord has talked to you. I had a message. You will never get anybody to believe it until you believe in yourself. And I'm going to leave you with this. Your pain right now that you're involved in might be you in disguise. It might be you in disguise. So if you want to keep inflicting yourself and blaming everybody else, you put on a great disguise. You look pretty in here. You're smiling, thank you, Jesus. But your pain might be you in disguise. Let's stand.